Hello, welcome to yet another cube draft. So I asked support about there being a repair function, which apparently there isn't, so would need to uninstall and reinstall. I haven't done so yet, but I will do after this, so we could still get crashes. Anyway, on with the cube. There's Elspeth, but then there's two other good white cards. There's Everflowing Jealous, which is a pretty good accelerant, and then there's the only green card Beast Within, which I don't even play so often. Like I cut it out of my decks most of the time. So I think given that this is a Planeswalker, I would probably pick Elspeth, just because of raw power. Maybe this wheels, but unlikely. Like none of this doesn't wheel, this doesn't wheel, this doesn't wheel. Let's just pick up the Elspeth and see where this brings me. Then we get a Metamorph, an Ultimate Prize, a Vengevine, Elves, also Trade Dreams Riders. I really like this card. Metamorph is pretty good, Ultimate Prize is pretty good. There's not a lot of blue in this, so... well, there is Metamorph, but that's not really considered a blue card, is it? Vengevine is okay, but I think Trade Dreams Riders leaves me open for, some really strong cards. Such as Opposition, Upheaval, like I would already be in blue. Here I think Cortusar is a bit better. It's really not that great of a card, though. Maybe Wall of Omens is a bit better, given that this is just a 1/3 vigilance. This is an 0/4. This is more likely to wheel than this. Daxus might also wheel, but I think Wall of Omens is a bit better than Cortusar. Just because it's an 0/4. It can't attack, so that's a bit of a downer. We get Tinker early on, and I think that's a reason to pick it over Celestial Flare or Lennu Relic Water. Now there's seems to be a lot of uh, not a lot of white or blue, but I think Tinker is a solid enough card to pick up here. Get a Meloco, cannot pass it up. Generate tokens, yes please. Disenchant, but Old Man of the Sea, somewhat of a control magic card. Well, maybe to my right isn't blue anyway, because having Old Man of the Sea pass to me and Decree and Forbid. Forbid is obviously a really good counter, but I think I want Decree of Justice a bit more. Really not a great card. Seems very unlikely that I'll play that. Maybe I'll be splashing green somewhere. 3-top is then a bit... Nah, if I splash then 3-top is still a useless pick. Like, all of those picks are bad though, but I don't think 3-top was the correct one. Maybe I clicked a bit too fast there. Maybe the 2/2 that's sacrifice and then non-legendary creature, like it's useful with the tokens. So maybe that was a bit better. I don't even know if you can do it as the instant speed. Like if you can, it's okay, I guess. Because if they use removal on a creature, yeah, probably would have been the better pick then. At least then we can have an idea if we play it, if it's any good or not. Mutavault wheels, but the Dismantling Blow wheels as well. We already passed up a Disenchant and a Seal of Cleansing, so might as well pick it up right now. Might play it main deck even. It's not that bad to run one of these main deck, especially seeing that this actually also draws me cards in the late game, so it's never that bad of a card. So Everflowing Chalice obviously doesn't wheel. So we can't rely on that for Tinker. I don't think there's a lot of early artifacts. I think there's Senseless Divine into it, but how likely is that you're gonna get it past? Engineered Explosives, but you really want to run that main deck. Here Magpie over Catastrophe. Sure, lands or creatures. Yeah, I think Magpie is a bit better. So Dexus Wheels, I think it's a bit better than Fairy Conclave. A lot of black, like black is gonna get their cards anyway, might as well pick the non-black card. So red is gonna get a card anyway, might as well pick the black card. That's a bit of a weird thing. And now I'm stuck with this. Well, Flame Javelin is obviously better than Tuka Shade. The Tuka Shade, like, where it once had its glory, it's obviously no longer there. Seal of Cleansing, nice to have that wheel. Or have that as last pick. So what are we looking for? Stoneforge Mystic into Better Skull, or Better Skull into Stoneforge Mystic. Opposition, Jace. Talia? This is a good question. Like, I think Vendilion Click is the pick because there are 3 other white cards, which might get picked. But you can also pick Coalition Relic. And then 1, 2, 3 cards that we wouldn't mind seeing wheel. Although the next blue player is gonna pick up Vendilion Click. And then white is gonna pick up Sublime Archangel, so only Talia might wheel. Do we really need Exorant? I think Talia is a bit better than everything else. But Vendilion Click is also pretty good, and if we can pick up a Caracas, gonna go with the Click. And hope Talia or the Archangel wheels. Not really much in here for me. Like, Fire Eye, okay, but I'm probably not gonna be splashing red, so it's just for the ice part, and I think in that case Repulse is better. Already so heavy on trees, just because I'm blue. And then we get the Tension Sphere, which is another really good card, but again, at 3. So, want to avoid as many 3 drops as I can right now. While I was giving off on Engineered Explosives not being the artifact I want, I am gonna pick it here. Like, Palanquin isn't really the card I want as a late game, so might as well pick that up. This card is so good, but oh, never mind. Never mind, Slam Dunk. Not even thinking about it. So there's Caracas, but there's also Keiga. Keiga is obviously a bit better, just because it's as good as this. Caracas does bounce Maloku and Vendilion Click, but I mean, it might wheel, although unlikely, but I don't think I can pass up Keiga. Here it's gonna be Revoker over Soldier. Revoker has some upsides, and it's not that bad, like we can use it with Tinker, Epocher Side. Versus Chasm Skulker. Like, Chasm Skulker is pretty good to the position, but the Epocher Side has value with Tinker if I get like a really late game artifact. While Chasm Skulker would be 3 again, and I'm already so heavy on trees. So Talia does wheel, so we'll take that. Yeah, getting good in 2 drops now. If I get like a top and then a late game artifact, that would be pretty good to play Tinker. Else I just don't play Tinker, of course. Vidalcan Shackles would also be pretty good, and maybe even then I play Tinker, just because, you know, Shackles is insane against a lot of matchups. But I mean, we get a position yet again. Do people just not value this card? This card is bonkers. If you resolve opposition, and you have like 3 creatures, you usually win the game just because of that. It doesn't even matter what the creature is. But no fix here at this point. But doesn't really need to. Like, yes, we need to make our drops, but as soon as we get like a single plane and 2 islands, we can operate. So Tinker, what do I want to see as an artifact? I assume Mirror Battlesphere is better for me, just because of opposition. Wow, this is trash. What a trash pack. I guess Earthquake is the better against me. Strangleroot Geist is obviously good as well. We'll get Either Adept and Silver Knight. As much as I would want to pick Silver Knight, I think I have to go with Either Adept, just because I'm gonna be playing more blue than white. Palinchron Wheels, might as well pick it up here. I guess Bane of the Living, like, anyone else's. Academy Rector is okay. Soldier Pantheon wheels, wow. Academy Rector only gets opposition at this point, or Detention Sphere, might even play it then. Because it does get 2 targets. One is Feather Nuts and one is removal. It only gets enchantments, right? Yeah. So if you get Future Sight, I wouldn't mind picking that one up. Because that would be okay. Instead we get what? We get Mirror Crusader, Vesuvian Shapeshifter, Time Spiral. I'm really not a fan of Time Spiral. Especially not the first picket. I think this is good and this is good. We already have 15 creatures though, so maybe we just want a random counter. We don't have a counter yet. And then maybe one of these will. Yeah, I think I want a counter. We get a Mirror Battlesphere, but also Porcelain Legionnaire. I do think I want to go for Battlesphere and then cut a Pelincron. And then we of course get the counter we want in Hinder. But there's also Colonnade, like we now have the Condescend to want the Colonnade instead. I don't think we need to, like Colonnade is something of a control card that people are like, okay. I think I just want a Hinder and have it as a secondary counter spell, like a hard counter. Rifting Cloudscape is pretty good, it's probably better than this. And this, like Rifting Cloudscape is just really good. And I don't think we really need to fix. Might even wheel one of these, so it doesn't really seem necessary to pick it up. And then get a Rifting Cloudscape picked up by someone else. So we have cards too many. Let's cut the Engineer, I think. Probably still cut the Tinker, although I'm not so sure about that. Wow, we get Yosei as well. How many wizards do we have? Maloko is one, but I really don't want to sacrifice that one. Vendilion Click is one, so that's a reason to run Void Mage, I guess. Is it better than Yosei though? Well, we have 3 late game bombs. Probably is. So Void Mage even over the Journey, just because it's a creature. And then we can cut the Condescend. Parallax Wave over Dissipate. Maybe we want Dissipate over Hinder, although they both have the same role. And then just, you know, against bomb decks, we bring in 2 more counter. So still too many cards though. Descendant, I guess, is the better card here against aggro. Probably won't play it main deck. Probably still won't play the Dismantling Blow main deck now, given that I have too many cards. And probably not a Soldier. I'll just keep getting good cards. So we're gonna play the Rector because we have 3 targets for it. But probably not play the Tinker despite it, you know, getting this. Mirror Crusader wield, which is pretty bonkers. What do we want to cut? Let's keep it there for a sec. This is a hard one. Like, Academy Rector gets 3 targets. Opposition is the nuts target. Future Sight is really good. And Detention Sphere is okay. So I think I want to keep it in. Wow, what sweet is back. Like, Serendip Effort is good. Impulse is good. But I think I want a near hit Pilgrim just to have some kind of lifelink. I only have the Descendant so far, and this is really good against aggro. Might even play it main deck, but then again I have to cut another card. Colonnade Wheels, sure. So probably the Tundra then, also wheels. I guess Willbender is better than Whipcorder. No, probably not. Keep it as a sideboard card against aggro. Yosei wheels. Wow. I'm surprised neither. So Tundra or Glacial Fortress didn't wheel. That's bizarre, given that I'm that color combination. So we have 3 cards too many here. 19 creatures and a bunch of cards that actually generate creatures, being this form of dragon last pick, okay. Being 1, 2, generate creatures. Maybe I don't want to agree. Because if I go to late game, should be winning already. Although hard casting it is pretty strong. But you have to invest 6 mana to get a single one. And then 10 mana. I think at 10 mana it's costed okay. But everything before that is pretty terrible. So 2 more cards to cut. So this is a 2-drop as well. Maybe we don't want to revoke our main deck, given that we don't play the Tinker. We can bring it in against some realistic cards, although wouldn't immediately know which one. Do we want Tinker? I don't think so. So 1 more card to cut. I do think I want to keep in the Dissipate. Although maybe the Condescend is better, but I mean I want to keep in 1 counter. That's basically what I'm saying. Maybe Condescend is a bit better then. Although Dissipate is just like, okay, I'm gonna keep open 3 mana and that's sufficient, but a Condescend is really good with opposition, yes. But I mean, if you have opposition and you're tapping on your lines of your opponent, you're already winning most of the time. So I don't think Condescend versus Dissipate in that situation makes a difference, so that doesn't matter. I think Dissipate is just in general the stronger counter out of the 3 that I have. I'm not that heavy on white, so I might consider cutting the Mirror Crusader from the main deck. Although I think Daxos is a bit worse than the Mirror Crusader. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 non-creature cards. 6 apparently. Oh, Elspeth isn't 1 according to this, and Dissipate obviously isn't 1. So Elspeth isn't 1, but you know, it generates tokens, so that does count, to be honest. And 3 of them I can get with a creature. I think I want to keep these 3. Like Yosei is probably the weakest of the 3. Like Keiga is really bonkers, but Yosei is okay as well. It just buys you like 2 turns, which is pretty big, and it's a 5/5 flyer, of course. So how many wizards do I have? 1. This isn't a wizard. No, it's just a bird. This isn't a wizard. It's a spirit. It's a cleric. This is 1 that I know of. This is a Jinn. That's a wizard. Nice. This isn't 1, right? Nope. And nope. So we do have some usage for Void Mage Prodigy. Basically either adept is gonna get work overtime if we can have Void Mage in play. So we do have 2 counters then, but still I want to keep in the Dissipate. So yeah, I think Daxos is gone. 17 creatures is still enough. So Atlan's gonna suggest more than that, yeah, I think something like this. Although, given that I only play 3 now. 10 blue sources, 8 white sources. I think I do need more blue. Like a lot of my blue is double. And even triple. I think blue is more important, so 10 is fine. Seven Plains seems to be on the lower end, but I mean, outside of Mirror Crusader and Elspeth, yeah, there's Yosei, but I mean, that's gonna be really late game. I should survive on one, plus I have some draws. Yeah, this'll do. I'll see you guys for round one.